I thought it would settle somewhere deep inside me over time. Like everything we leave behind eventually learns how to stay. But this one kept on drifting through the corners of my mind, never asking where to go, never choosing where to fade. There were nights I almost felt it disappear completely, like a shadow losing shape before it's gone. But in the silence it would find its way to meet me, not as something lost, but something still going on. Fading slowly without ever disappearing, staying close without becoming mine. Something always just beyond the edge of feeling, somewhere between the present and the time. It doesn't ask for me to hold it any longer, doesn't need a place to finally belong. Just a quiet kind of presence growing stronger, even when I thought that it was gone. But it never truly leaves me, staying close without a place to call its own. Something gently reshaping how it sees me, turning silence into something I have known. I found your message in the evening, buried in the thread. Didn't notice when it came in, didn't read what it said. Back then it didn't matter, just another line, something I would answer if I had the time. Now I read it slowly like it's something new. Every word is different now that I know you. It was simple, it was small, I didn't think of it at all. Now it lingers in a different way. Every line I let delay. What I missed is clearer now, but I don't know how to go back into that moment there, answer like I used to care. Now it stays between the lines, out of time. There's a tone I didn't hear then, hidden in the phrasing, something I was moving past without even tracing. Now it sits between the pauses, quiet but defined, not in what you tried to say, but what you left behind. It was nothing, it was light. Now it shifts the way I write. Now it lingers in a different way. Every word I pushed away feels heavier somehow when I read it now. I don't need to answer back, I don't need to change the track. Still it stays within the frame, not the same. Time rewrites what we see, not the words but what they mean. Now it lingers in a softer tone, like a voice I've never known. Every line I didn't read still repeats, not to ask for anything, not to make me feel a thing, just a meaning I ignored once before.
The street is quieter than usual, even for this hour. Every step feels separate from what we were. There's a sound beneath the silence I can't quite name. Not a voice, not an echo, but it stays the same. Lights don't flicker like they used to, they just remain, holding on to nothing without a trace. Not a reason, not a trace, just a presence left in place. Walking through a street that doesn't know my name, every step feels just the same. Not a memory I follow, just a shape I can't erase. There's no one here to ask me why, no need to even try. Just the sound of something fading as I pass it by. I didn't notice at the time, now they move without a meaning in my mind. I don't stop to put them back where they belong. Some things lose their weight but linger on. Not a reason, not a trace, just a presence left in place. Walking through a street that doesn't hold me still, nothing left to shape or fill. Not a thought I need to follow, just a quiet I can't kill. Every light just stays the same, no one left to call my name, just the rhythm of the distance without a frame. No past, no sound, just footsteps on the ground.
just touch your chair, still a little turned. You left without a moment breaking, just a shift I couldn't see. One less weight inside the room, but more inside of me. The air stayed almost identical. Nothing moved enough to show, but something in the way it settled told me what I didn't know. No line drawn between before and now, no sound to mark the end, just something quietly missing that won't return again. Between sips and silence, your absence sits with mine. No shape I can follow, still it draws a line. I don't reach to change it, I don't ask you why. Between sips and silence, you're there but not in sight. Your cup stayed where you left it, a faint ring on the wood. I traced it for a second, like somehow that would bring back what never shattered, just slowly slipped away. A space that keeps expanding no matter what I say. No need to name the distance, no need to make it clear. It lingers in the smallest things that shouldn't still be here. Between sips and silence, your absence sits with mine. No shape I can follow, still it draws a line. I don't reach to change it, I don't ask it why. Between sips and silence, you're there but not in sight. Not loud enough to break me, not soft enough to fade, just something I keep carrying in every quiet space. Between sips and silence, everything aligns. Nothing left to hold on, still it won't decline. I don't try to fix it, I just let it lie. Between sips and silence, you pass me by. Glass on wood, chair untouched, nothing gone, still too much.
There's a place I go sometimes where the water doesn't stop. It doesn't ask where it's been or where it might drop. I don't say much when I'm there, I don't try to explain. Something in the way it moves feels enough to remain. You could sit here next to me, we don't have to speak. Something in the quiet flow says what we don't need. I don't ask you what you carry, I don't ask you why, but I feel the way it settles when you're by my side. Nothing rushing, nothing stays, just a quiet kind of passing through the days. Let it move, have to understand. If you sit here long enough, it will rest inside your hands. Let it go the way it goes. We don't have to make it clear, just the sound of something flowing while you're here. If you listen close enough, you might hear it change. Not in words or anything, but never quite the same. There's a rhythm in the distance, not a beat, but still something in the way it carries. Feels like it will. I don't try to hold a moment, I don't try to stay, but I find myself returning anyway. Like the water doesn't question where it's going next, I just sit and let it carry what is left. Not ahead, not behind, just somewhere out of time. Without a name, let it fall without a plan. If you stay here for a while, you might start to understand. Not in words or something clear, not in anything you say, just the way it keeps on moving anyway. So if you feel like staying, you can stay right here. We don't need a reason, we don't need it clear, just the sound of moving water and the space between, where nothing needs to be said to be seen.
Didn't notice when it started, the way the hours softened out, edges fading into nothing, without a single doubt. I was sitting in the same place, nothing new to rearrange, but something in the passing didn't feel the same. No direction, no intention, just a moment laid out wide. Every second gently landing, then slipping to the side. I don't reach to hold the feeling, I don't try to make it stay. Something in the way it settles finds its quiet way. No need to follow, doesn't ask for meaning, doesn't wait to be defined. It just moves across the surface, leaving nothing behind. I let it pass without resistance, let it move the way it does. Something in the quiet motion feels enough just because.
Keys on the table, shoes by the door. Same old story, heard it before. You drag the weight in with your jacket, drop it down beside the chair. Say nothing, just a small reaction, like no one needs to know you're there. Phone still lighting up the surface, you don't even turn it down. Let it blink until it fades out, like everything else right now. No need to explain it, I read it all in your face. Long day sitting heavy, but we don't have to name it. Come sit down, don't say much. Glass between your hands is enough. Let it rest, let it lean. Let the noise fall out in between. Take it slow, take it deep. Let the silence say what it keeps. Nothing more, nothing less, just tonight, that's enough, I guess. Neon flickers through the window, spills across the wooden floor. You trace lines along the table like you've done it all before. No big words, no conclusions, no need to tie it tight. Just a moment stretched out easy, let it loosen what's inside. No need to pretend now, I know how the hours go. Stacked up, pressing downward, but we can let them go. Come sit down, don't say much. Glass between your hands is enough. said it again. I almost said it again. Right before it formed, something stops it halfway, leaves it undefined. I almost turned my head like I used to do, but something in that motion didn't follow through. I almost said it again, but softer than before, like it disappears early before it reaches more. I almost turn my head, but slower this time. Something in between it breaks the line. I almost said it again, barely even there, just a shape of something hanging in the air. I almost turned my head, then stayed instead. Something held me in place where I stopped. Not holding, not releasing, just repeating, then decreasing. Not calling, not refusing, just a pattern slowly losing. I almost said it again, but didn't let it stay. Something in the way it fades takes it away. I almost turned my head, but didn't this time. That's where it stops.
There's a sound I didn't notice when it first was there. Now it's all that seems to linger in the air. It plays softer than I remember, but somehow stays, not in the words or in the silence, but in between the phrase. There's a crackle in the distance, like it's worn thin. Every time it turns again, it pulls me in. Not the moment, not the time, just the echo left behind, like a tape that keeps on running, even when it's through. Every line already fading, but it still comes through. Not as clear as it was then, not as strong or true, just a ghost inside the playback breaking through. I don't try to fix the distance or make it right. Some things lose their shape, but never leave the light. It's not the way it used to sound that brings it near. It's the way it almost disappears, then reappears. Not a memory, not a lie, just a trace that won't comply. Like a tape that keeps on running past the final line. Every piece a little scattered out of space and time. I don't need to understand it, I don't need to choose, just a ghost inside the playback that I never lose. Worn out, slowed down, still turning around, like a tape that keeps on running long after it ends. Every sound a little distant, but it still extends. Not the past I try to follow, not something to prove, just a ghost inside the playback that won't move.
Something changed without a sound. Didn't see it coming through. Just a shift in how it settled in the space I'm moving through. Nothing moved, but something opened in a way I can't explain. Like the surface stayed unbroken, but the air was not the same. I don't look for where it started, I don't trace it back again. Just a difference in the stillness that wasn't there till then. Every motion feels a little less defined along the edge, like the outline softens slowly without anything to press. No mark different kind. Try to hold the moment, I don't need to keep it near. Something in the way it passes leaves the space more clear. Not a change that asks for meaning, not a shift I need to name, just the way it sits around me after it became. Would you ever turn your eye my way? Just once, not long enough to stay. I don't stand where you can see, not where your light would fall. Somewhere just outside your reach, I've always been at all. I don't call you, I don't move, I don't change your line, but I feel it every moment you pass me by. There's a space you never notice, but I know it well. Somewhere I keep standing, I don't ever tell. You don't hear the way I pause when you say their name. Something in it lingers, then fades the same. Not close, not gone, just here all along. If I shifted just a little, would it change your view? Or would I stay unnoticed, like I always do? I don't need to take that place, I don't need to be anything but someone you might one day see. I don't ask for more than that, I don't need you near, just a moment where you notice I've been here. I keep the words behind my teeth. They almost slip then disappear. There's something in the way I pause when you are near. I trace the shape of what I mean, but never let it cross the line. It stays somewhere between the breath and what I hide. You don't notice how I stop right before I say too much. I let the moment pass me by without a touch. Every second stretches out like it's waiting on a sign, but I fold it back into myself every time. Not said, not gone, it lingers on right at the edge of coming through. I stay a step behind the line, where everything could turn to real. There's something safer in the space I never reveal. I let the silence take its place. I let it settle in between, like something almost happening but never seen. It's not a word I couldn't say, it's just I let it stay undone. A quiet held inside the air for no one. And even when the moment fits, I let it pass without a sound. It circles back but never lands, just moves around. I saw you coming from a distance before I knew it was you. Something in the way you walked felt like I already knew. I didn't slow, I didn't stop, I didn't turn away. But something in the air between us changed the shape of day. You looked up just for a moment, not long enough to stay. Something in your eyes passed through me, then just slipped away. We didn't say a single word, we didn't need to try, but I felt the weight of something walking by. Not closer, not far, just crossing where we are. We pass passed like nothing changed, like time had stayed the same. But something in the silence still remembered everything. We walked without a pause, no reason left to stay. But something in the quiet didn't fade away. Just like always, didn't look behind, but I felt the way that moment stayed inside. There was nothing left to hold on, nothing left to say, but it followed like a shadow anyway. Not lost, not found, just something passing through now. We passed like strangers do, like we were never there. But something in the space between us still remains somewhere. No turning back again, no need to explain. But something in that moment didn't feel the same.
Nothing pressing on my shoulders, but it's there in how I sit. Not a thought I need to follow, just a trace I never quit. The room stays where I left it. Every line remains the same. Something in the quiet center doesn't need a name. I don't try to make it lighter, I don't push it out of place. It just settles without asking, takes a little space. No direction, no decision, nothing turning into more. Just a weight that keeps on resting, like it has before. Not a burden, not a loss, not a line I need to cross. Just a shape without a sound, always somewhere around. time goes on without resistance. Doesn't ask me how I feel. Something in the way it carries almost makes it real. I don't measure, I don't question. I don't need to understand. It just stays the way it's settled, exactly as it can. It doesn't leave. There's a chair that no one's taken since a while ago. No one asks about it anymore, they just let it go. The glass still catches light the same, nothing really moved, but something in the quiet here feels slightly removed. The piano plays like always, doesn't miss a line, but there's a space between the notes that wasn't there in time. No one says a word about it, no one needs to know, but every sound is leaning just a little slow. It's not louder, it's not less, just a change you can't express. The room keeps playing like it did before. Same old song, same old floor, but something in the way it stays doesn't feel the same anymore. The lights are low, the air is still. Nothing's wrong, but nothing will return to what it used to be. Quietly, quietly. Someone laughs across the room, it almost sounds the same, but something in the echo there doesn't land the same. The door still opens, closes soft like it always has, but time is moving differently somewhere in the past. Not gone, not here, just somewhere in between the air. The room keeps playing like it knows how to let the silence grow. Not in absence, not in sound, but in what's no longer around. Everything is still in place, nothing changed you couldn't trace, but something in the way it flows already knows. told the room you left. Everything stayed where it was. No shift in how the air moved. No reason, just because. I still walk around the same way, avoiding nothing at all. But every step feels measured, like I'm waiting for a call. There's no sign to say it ended, no mark to draw the line, just something in the background that never falls behind. Stop to think about it. I don't try to understand, but something in my timing doesn't follow my command. Told the room you left, so nothing had to change. But everything I do inside it doesn't feel the same. line I never cross. Not because I'm afraid. Something in the way it feels tells me let it stay. Words come up and fade away before they reach the air, like they know the space between was never meant to share. You don't see the way it shifts right before I speak. Something quiet pulls it back before it gets too deep. I don't try to hold it still. I don't try to move. There's a balance in the silence I don't wanna lose. Not missing, not near, just something that stays here. I can sit inside a moment without needing more, like a feeling left unopened behind a door. Nothing has to be resolved, nothing asked to change, but the way it settles in me is never the same. If I let it turn to words, it might lose its shape. Something softer in between might just slip away. So I'll leave it where it lingers, just before it shows, somewhere I can almost reach, but never close.
Thought I had more time to wait, more space to let it be. Something in the way I left it didn't speak to me. I walked away without a reason, didn't stop to see what was slowly falling out in front of me. Now I see it clearer, now I feel it more, but the way back to it isn't there anymore. Every step I took away was quiet, almost light. I didn't think to turn around or question if it's right. Now the distance stays between us without a sound to break. Something in the way it's settled feels too late. Now I see it clearer, now I feel it more, but the way back to it isn't there anymore. If I tried to find it, would it still remain? Or is it something lost without a name? I don't reach to call it closer, I don't try to change its place, but something in the way I left it I can't replace. It's not louder, just more present in the way it stays, like a moment I could have held, but let it fade. Now I know the feeling I couldn't name before, but the way back to it isn't there anymore. I don't look for you in corners anymore. Don't turn when something sounds the same. Every movement finds its place without you. Nothing calls your name. I leave spaces as they come and go. No need to fill them in. Something in the way I'm breathing now feels quieter within. No moment where it changed, no line I crossed alone. Just something slowly settling into what I've known. Where it settled in, it doesn't move around. it stays without asking, somewhere in my mind. I pass by all the things that used to matter. Nothing pulls me back again. Even thoughts that used to linger longer now don't remain. There's no effort in the letting go, no distance I can trace, just something in the way it faded out without a break. No sudden understanding, no final piece to fit, just something resting quietly, exactly where it sits, where it's settled in. It doesn't move around, not heavy, not light, just there without a sound, where it's settled in, no reason left to find. It stays without asking, somewhere in my mind. Not gone, not here, not lost, not near, just part of how it is. It doesn't need a meaning, and I don't ask how. Where it's settled in, it doesn't interfere, just something I carry that quietly stays here. It just stayed. I don't reach for it anymore the way I used to do. Still, in certain kinds of quiet, it slips back through. Not a feeling I can name, not a shape I recognize, just the way my hands remember what isn't there to find. I don't call it missing now, I don't call it pain, but it settles in the silence all the same. Things I used to say with ease, without weighing what they meant, now they rest behind my mouth, half spoken, never spent. Not because I'm holding back, not because I care, just because they lost their meaning being there. It's not heavy, it's not light, just a presence late at night, left in the quiet. just a mark that stays in place. It doesn't need a reason. It doesn't ask me why. Just a trace that keeps returning, passing by. I can sit across a room, unmoved, unchanged, but somewhere underneath the stillness, something rearranged. Not enough to shift the air, not enough to stay, just enough to let me notice, then drift away. Not love, not loss, just the echo of what it cost, left in a quiet habit, something low and slow, not a thought I try to follow, just a place I know. No need to redefine it, no need to make it right. It just settles where it finds me in the night. The night is settling slowly across the empty room. Light fades along the window, just a shade too soon. I didn't plan on staying, I didn't think I would, but something in the quiet feels misunderstood. There's a space between the moments where everything feels still, and I find myself just waiting, even if I will. Not for answers, not for more, just something I can't ignore. Stay until the last light falls, don't say anything at all. Let it fade the way it does, without asking what it was. Stay until there's nothing left, no more words to intercept, just the echo of the night, settling in quiet light. I've been here before, I think, in a different frame, where things don't need a meaning or a name. I don't try to hold it closer, I don't let it go, but something in the passing moves me slow. Not a reason, not a sign, just a moment out of time. Stay until the last light falls, let it rest against the walls. We don't need to understand what we never planned. Stay until it slips away, like it always does this way, just a feeling passing through, not for me or you. There's a softness in the leaving, there's a calm in letting be. Not everything that stays inside was meant to carry me.
remember how it used to feel before I knew the end, when everything just stayed in place without having to pretend. We didn't think about the passing, we didn't name the days. Something in the way we lived it never tried to stay. There were nights that felt like nothing, but somehow held it all. We never knew which moments mattered till they were gone. I don't try to bring it back now, I don't ask it where it went, but something in the way I hold it still feels present. Not close, not far, just something we were. I can see it in the distance, like a place I used to stand. Not a dream, but not a memory I can understand. There's a warmth I can't explain now, something soft and out of reach, like a voice I almost hear, but cannot speak. Even knowing I can't return, I still bring those moments back. They don't answer when I call them, but they never fade to black. I don't try to hold them tighter, I don't try to understand, just a quiet kind of longing resting in my hands. I let it leave without a reason, didn't try to make it stay. Something in the way it drifted carried it away. I stood still and watched it fading, like it knew where it should go. There was nothing left to offer, nothing left to hold. I don't say I should have stopped it, I don't say I was too slow, but there's something in the silence that I didn't know. Every word I left unspoken finds me now in quiet waves. Not enough to pull me backward, but it never fades. Not regret, not a loss, just a moment that it crossed. It's not heavier, just different in the way it settles in. Like a space I didn't notice, now I'm living in. I don't reach to bring it closer, I don't try to turn it back, but something in the way it's gone leaves a softer lag. If I held it any longer, would it still have slipped away? Or was this the only ending it could ever take? I don't ask it for an answer, I don't need to understand, but I feel it in the distance, just beyond my hand.
Reach for what is gone, it wouldn't come back anyway. Something in the way it ended asked me not to stay. There's a place it used to be, I don't try to fill it now, it just rests there quietly. I don't ask it how, I don't say I understand it, I don't say I let it go. Somewhere in between those words is all I know. There's a softness in the silence I have learned to leave alone. Something in the way it lingers feels like home. Not held, not lost, without trying to define. Like a fading kind of light that stays behind. There's no need to make it louder. There's no need to make it clear. Something in the way it settles keeps it near. It's alright to leave it there. I don't need to understand. Some things fade without a reason. Still, they softly land. I don't need to call it back. I don't need to make it clear. Just a quiet kind of comfort, staying with me here.
I reach across, then stop halfway. Nothing there, but I stay. I still lean into the same side like you're sitting next to me. Shift my weight without thinking, like it's where you used to be. Turn my head at certain moments, like I heard you say my name. But it's just the room adjusting, never really the same. No sound calling me back, no sign left to find. Just something in my motion that won't fall behind. Where your hands used to rest, something lingers in place. Not enough to be seen, still it changes the space. I don't try to erase it, I don't question why. Where your hands used to rest, that's where I still arrive. Before I speak sometimes, like you're about to respond. Leave a space in conversation. Even when you're gone, every habit stays intact, like nothing ever moved. But every single movement leads me back to you. No trace I can follow, no shape I can name. Something in my rhythm that refuses to change. Where your hands used to rest, something lingers in place. Not enough to be seen, still it changes the space. I don't try to erase it, I don't question why. Where your hands used to rest, that's where I still arrive. Not a memory I revisit, not a thought I hold, just something in my body that won't let go. that's where I still arrive. I reach again, then let it pass. Some things stay without a past. There's nothing left that feels missing, but something doesn't sit right, like a space that wasn't meant to stay, still stayed behind. I don't look for what was taken, I don't reach for what is gone, but something in the way I'm standing feels less than before. Every sound falls a little shorter than it used to in this room, like it fades before it settles, too early, too soon. I let everything continue, I don't try to rearrange, but something in the quiet outline doesn't feel the same. Not empty, not full, just somewhere in between. I don't carry what I lost now, I don't hold it in my hand, but there's something in the absence I don't understand. It's not calling, not returning, not a thing I need to chase, just a silence that remains in its place. If I try to name the feeling, it slips out before it forms, like it doesn't want a meaning or a shape to hold
so I leave it where it lingers. I don't move it out of sight, just a quiet kind of distance that stays through the night.
Didn't stop you when you left, not because I couldn't stay. Something in the way it ended took the words away. I stood there longer than I should, just a space that kept on widening without you. There's no sound that I remember from the moment that you turned, only something left behind me that never burned. I don't reach for what is gone now, I don't call it back again, but something in the way it settles never ends. Not louder, not less, just something I can't address. Time moves on without a question. Nothing waits for me to stay, but the shape of what I held once doesn't fade away. It's not heavy, just remaining in a way I can't release, like a silence that keeps growing underneath. If I try to name the feeling, it dissolves before it forms, like it lives without a language or a form. So I leave it where it lingers. I don't ask it what what it means. Just something that stays behind me in between.
A chair pulled back, a cup left warm, no sound between, but something forms. You left the window slightly open, curtain shifts without a reason. Dust hangs in a tilted motion, like it forgot what it was doing. Shoes still facing toward the doorway. Nothing moved, but everything's wrong. Even silence bends around it like it's trying to hold on.
There's a shape where words should settle, something pressed into the air. Not a voice, not quite a shadow, but I know it's still there.
It circles back without warning, slides across the empty floor.
Not a sound, but something turning
Right where you stood before.
No name, no form to follow.
Still it pulls me through,
Like the room remembers something I can't undo.
I rearrange the broken pattern,
Move the frame, the books, the light.
still the corners fold the same way.
Every single time try to cover what was missing, lay it days to make it thin, but the space you carved inside me won't close back in.
It circles back without warning, slides across the empty floor.
Not a sound, but something turning
Right where you stood before.
No name, no form to follow.
Still it pulls me through,
Like the room remembers something I can't undo.
not a voice I can erase,
Not a touch I can define,
just a pressure in the distance.
leaning into mine.
Not a step but something near,
Not a past I left behind,
just a line that keeps returning out of time. Circles back without warning,
finds the edges of my frame,
not a sound but something forming.
calling without a name.
No shape, no end to measure,
Still it runs right through.
like the room became a question
I can't refuse.
A chair pulled back, a cup gone cold.
Nothing changed,
but nothing holds.
I'm still awake, just lying here, letting everything be clear. Nothing pulling me too far, just staying where we are. The ceiling holds a steady line. Time moves, but it feels kind. Something in the quiet space settles into place. Not sleeping, just here. Nothing I need to hear. No thought I need to keep. Just drifting into peace. Streetlight fades across the wall, but then it doesn't matter at all. Every second feels the same, but softer in its way. I don't reach for anything, don't turn to check the time. Something in this empty space feels easy, feels like mine. Not sleeping, just here. Nothing I need to hear. No thought I need to keep. Just drifting into peace. Not restless, not still, just somewhere soft within. No need to understand, no need to begin. Not sleeping, just here, letting everything clear. No line I need to cross, nothing left to force. I just stay like this.